Hi, welcome to Avi's Kosher Kitchen. It's me, Avi, back here again, preparing something that, quite honestly, I never thought I would be cooking, especially on a video. But here it is, a brisket. Second cut brisket at that, courtesy of our friends over at Whole Foods. I'm going to tell you all about the brisket, why I'm cooking it, and how I'm cooking it in a minute. First, let's say l'chaim. I have a beautiful wine here, courtesy of our friends at kosherwine.com. This is a Casa del Cielo, the house of the sky, the house of the heaven, really, house of heavens. And it's really a beautiful, beautiful wine. First, let me taste it. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pri hagefen. Oh, that's good. This wine, it just looks like a happy wine, doesn't it? Look at that label, it just looks happy. You know, this is from the vineyard, from the estate, right to you via kosherwine.com. Cut out all the different distributors and middlemen and this and that and the other thing, you know, so it keeps the price point low, affordable, nice, but the quality, wonderful, okay? Now, let's talk brisket. I got from our friends at Whole Foods, and of course, you know Whole Foods, grass-fed, 100% grass-fed, start to finish, no antibiotics, no growth hormones, none of the garbage and anything else like that. The brisket, which is, you know, the breast, is a muscle that's used a lot in an animal, in a cow, because it's a weight-bearing muscle, so to speak. It supports everything. So when they're relaxed and they don't have the stress, the whole musculature is just easier. There's, you know, you don't get those stress things going in there, and it's just nice. This is a second cut brisket. Now, if you feel this, the meat itself feels just soft. It's nice, okay? We're actually making a bourbon pulled brisket. You heard me right. Bourbon pulled brisket, and I guarantee you this is going to be one of those dishes that when you make it, you are going to be serving it and going, oh, why didn't I think of this? Because, you know, and the only reason I thought it was because of my son. My son says to me one day, you know, I want the meat that falls apart. And in my house, that would be like a ropa vieja, which is like, literally translated means old clothes. It's meat that's really just cooked down, and just falls off everything, just falls apart, which is like a pulled brisket. So I said, yeah, let's see what we can do. All right, so now, kosher salt, again, season up from high, you know, get a better, nicer spread on it. We'll grab the other side, season. Now I'm going to put a little fresh cracked black pepper, okay, right on top. If you don't like cracked black, can you say that 5 times real fast? If you don't like cracked black pepper, don't put it on, okay? It's just something to give it a little something, but it's a very light seasoning on this recipe, and I'll tell you why. Because what we're going to do is we're going to make our own homemade bourbon barbecue sauce. Let me tell you, you heard me right, bourbon barbecue sauce. That's going to be one of these deals where you go, wow, that is good. Now here it is, already made. I keep it in a little squeeze bottle. I label it, you know, very crude, little label, you know, Avi's bourbon barbecue sauce. Go figure, right? I'm just going to take a little bit and we're just going to squeeze it right on top, okay? Just a little bit, just enough to kind of coat it, cover it. Same on this side. It's kind of like squeezes out like a ketchup would, right? Okay, I've got that. Now I've got my burner with a nice pan. This has been going and getting hot for a little bit. I'm going to take a little bit of olive oil right in there just to keep things from really kind of sticking. Okay, it just burns around, you know, rolls around. I'm going to take this and sear it. Here we go. Now, I just want to sear it just so that it gets a little bit of a color to it, you know, something like that. You don't have to, if you miss the searing step, that's not essential because this is being cooked in a crock pot or a slow cooker, whatever brand you might have out there, okay? I know a lot of guys out there are smoking these briskets and it's a 9, 10 hour, 15 hour, 25 day smoke there and the smoke rings and everything looks great and, you know who you are that's doing this too, you know, and send some this way. But at any rate, Not everybody has that smoker. Not everybody has the room to do it. A lot of people are in apartments, they're in condos. You just don't have the facility to be able to do it. So I wanted to come up with a recipe that really just allows everybody to kind of get a little bit of that feel without, going crazy. Now this is going to sear for maybe about a minute or so on each side, not a lot. You can see it's already looking good there. Okay, again, not a big deal. Now while this is searing, I'm going to put this to the side a little bit. I've got an onion, a large onion. We're going to take this large onion and cut it into large onion slices. Okay, just like this. Now, if you want to use shallots, you can use shallots. I find onions are a nice choice. They're just nice and hearty. I like a sweet onion. Just, the sugars are always nice. They caramelize well. Now, I've got my slow cooker. Let me take this. That's also been heating up. I've got it set to high right now. You could cook it on low if you're going to cook it longer. I find high does a good job. Again, a little bit of olive oil, just right in the bottom of the tub, and I put my onion slices right in there. Just lay them in there. This is going to be the base that our brisket is going to stay on. One of the things, we're going to obviously use some liquid. It kind of gets braised in here. But one of the things that I've never really liked so much is when the meat just sits in that liquid so much. And, I want to have it a little bit up so that it's a little bit of liquid, a little steam, a little everything else like that. Now, this is about all we need on the brisket here. Take a look at this, just nice. I'm going to just lay it in there. I'm going to take a little bit more of my sauce right over here. Now, we really want to get this sauce in there because this sauce, you'll see how I make it in a minute, as I said, but when this sauce gets in there, the sugars in it break down, the bourbon breaks down, everything. It just gets really, really nice. Now, I said we're going to put a little bit of liquid in here, and we are. You can see the onions are nicely coated. I'm going to put, first off, a little bit of water, just in the bottom. Simple H2O, very nice. And now, I'm going to put in some wine. And I got to tell you, when you cook with wine, always a good idea to cook with a good wine. If you're not going to drink it, don't cook with it. That's how I look at it, okay? I'm going to put a little bit in here. Now, if you want to use a white wine instead of a red wine, that's fine. I like the bit of fruitiness in the Merlot, and we're just going to put about that much in. Now, spread out our brisket. And of course, we want to go, by the way, fat side up. So look for your fat side. There it is. That goes up because we want that fat to just kind of melt in there and meld in there, okay? Now, that's all set. Put a little bit more of my sauce on top, okay? And when we make our sauce, which I'm going to do in a second, I'll even put more in. So now this goes right into the slow cooker, right into there. Put my lid on. And it's one of those things you kind of set it and forget it, if you remember those days, right? Just put it in there, and that's it. We are going to do a couple of adjustments to it in a minute, though. What I want to do now is take my pan, which I've lowered the heat on, by the way, okay? And we're going to just take this, take some more olive oil. Now, you could use for this, you could use regular oil as well. I've got an onion and a half. Just half moons right in there, okay? What we want to do with this is we just want to saute these onions down a little bit. And I've got another one just so you can see how the half moons go. You just take your onion, keep your fingers curved in. I'm sure you've watched any kind of cooking demos, you've seen this. You don't want to cut your fingers or anything else like that. And just gently slice, okay? Holding my knife, by the way, right up against my fingers here. It's going to help me control my slice. You don't want to go too thin, not too thick. Okay, and just motion of the knife, slice through the onion, and that's it. When I get to the end, because it's a little small, my trick is to flip the onion out, and there we go. Okay, take this, goes in here, and now I'm going to tell you how to make this great Bourbon BBQ sauce. First, grab a blender. You don't need an expensive one, just a regular blender. Put in a 12-ounce can of tomato paste. Then about 10 ounces of white vinegar, 8 ounces of pure maple syrup, don't use the cheap stuff, about a tablespoon or so of brown sugar, a teaspoon of ground cloves, half a teaspoon of salt, and a teaspoon of arrowroot, which is going to help keep your sauce a little bit creamy, and then about a shot and a half of bourbon. And if you're daring, put about 2 shots, you know? And all you do after that is give it a little blend. Good. Mix it in, give it a little taste. Oh, we're happening. That smokiness of the bourbon really kicks in there. I get a little kick in the back of my throat from the cloves and the vinegar in there. That's nice. Now we're talking. Put this aside. Put this over here. Okay. Swirl my onions a little bit. All right. This is basically it. What we're going to do here, I'll show you real quick. Crock pot out. This sauce right on top. Get it in there. You can find these at restaurant supply houses or at any of these other places. Just get these nice squeeze bottles. They're great to put your sauces in. Make sure you label them with the date and everything else like that. Just goes in here. Set it, forget it. 6 hours, 8 hours on high. That's it. Going to fall apart. And when you see how we present it, you're going to go, wow, 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 wow. Wow. All right. So, almost forgot. I got my onions right here. I'm going to take these babies right on top. And now, I will see you in about 8 hours. Well, I'll see you right away, but it'll be 8 hours for me, but it'll be right away for you. You do the math, and I'll see you. All right, it might have been just moments to you, but for me, about 8 hours, okay? And if you can see by the shadows behind me, I don't know, maybe it looks a little bit darker because, well, it is. At any rate, this brisket, the second cut brisket from our great friends over at Whole Foods, has been just luxuriating in that homemade bourbon BBQ sauce that we made, and it is sitting there, and I'm going to tell you something, it's ready to come out. Okay, so let's take it out and see what we got. Okay, I got to put my mitts on because this is hot. All righty, let's see what we got here. I feel like there should be like a drum roll, music, and all sorts of reveal things, you know, but here it is. Look at that, bubbling away. Beautiful. Well, trust me, it's beautiful because we're going to take it out now, okay? Put this aside. I'm going to put it directly on a plate. I'm going to tell you why. Because I've got a nice treat on how we're going to prepare this, okay? So we're just going to, this is probably going to fall apart as I take it out. Let's see if I can get this plate right underneath it as I go. There we go, look at this. Just nice. And the odors, I got to tell you, all day long here, the aromas that have been coming out. Everybody's been walking around going, when's that ready? Is that ready yet? Should we just go check it real quick? Make sure it's ready now, okay? So I've got a knife here, and I know we should cut on the board, but I'm kind of keeping the board clean. I'll show you why in a minute. Okay, I'm just going to cut into it a little bit here. It's just falling apart. But what's going to be better is we take our fork, and the fork just, look at this, it just pulls apart. You can just literally pull this out like this, okay? And hey, you know what? If we wanted it to go even longer, it would pull apart even more. The reason you want to cook this this real long time on the brisket, it just breaks down all the connective tissue in there, and just makes it nice and soft. And you know, the second cut brisket is a little bit fatter, which gives you, in my opinion, a little bit more flavor. It's a little bit better for this type of a pulled brisket because it just doesn't dry out as much. And of course, the Whole Foods brisket, you know, as I said before, 100% pasture raised, grass fed. These guys are out there living the life of luxury, you know. Anyway, I'm going to put this aside real quick, okay? And I'm just going to take my knife actually, and we're just going to pull a little bit of this brisket right over here, just like that. That's all you have to do. Look at that, okay? Just going to put that there, and I'm going to show you why. I have here a little masa. Masa is a dough, okay? In Spanish, masa basically means a dough. I made this earlier, and there's a link around here somewhere. Look, and it's going to show you exactly, take you to the video, it shows you how I made this. This is a very simple dough. It's kind of a bureka dough. I'm going to put a little, move this up here so you can see a little bit better. Just a little flour on the board. And we're just going to take this rolling pin, nice, and make it round. What we're going to make here is a Turkish bureka. A Turkish pulled brisket bureka. And let me tell you, this, I've got some already made, so you'll see it in a minute. Unbelievable. We'll just roll this up. It's kind of, doesn't have to look pretty yet. Now, take our fork, and we're just going to take a little bit of this brisket, put it right in there, just like that. Oh, the smell. I can't wait. I've got a little diced potatoes. I cooked these already earlier, a little pre-cooked. I'm going to put them in here because they're going to be give us a little bit of absorption. So what I want to do is I want to take my spoon, just take a little bit of this this onion and this sauce. This in Spanish they say the caldo. Okay, just put this right there. Oh, look at that onion right in there. Oh. This is going to be something, I'm telling you right now. Now we just take this and just fold it over, okay? Just fold it over. Now, you're starting to see it's starting to get a little bit of a shape there. All right, just, and if it doesn't quite hold, you can just wet it if you need to, just a little water. So like I said, a very simple dough. What we do now is we're going to just cut the excess dough off. And you'll be able to put this excess dough right back in your main dough. And I'm taking a fork, you can see, just sort of scalloping the edges. Now I know they make fancy pastry tools for this and all like that, but this is meant to be rustic and besides. So they did it in the old country. Now we just take our knife, just a regular butter knife. You don't need anything fancy, and just cut off the excess. Now you see it's starting to look a lot nicer, right? But wait, there's more. I've got a little egg wash. Put the egg wash right on top there. Okay. Just paint it just like you would if you're doing a bread. Okay. And we'll put that aside. And I have a little poppy seeds. Just sprinkle some poppy seeds right on top. It's a nice touch. You could use sesame seeds if you want. If you don't want to use seeds, don't use them. It's okay. Now we've got our, you could call it a bureka, you could call it an empanada, or you know what, you could call it one of those Australian meat pies, you know. There's all sorts of names for this type of thing. Every culture has its version of it. All you're going to do is take it, put it on a tray, a little parchment paper, that's all you need. Underneath it, 400-degree oven, 15-20 minutes, and I'm going to put this aside because when they're done, they look like this. Beautiful, huh? Look at that. And what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how we're going to plate some of this up now. Okay, I'm going to put this one right here, and let me grab my plate. Here's my plate. We're gonna take this, just cut it in half. Okay, look at that, just full of beautiful brisket oozability, just like that. Now I've got another treat, the same masa, the same dough that I used before. I took, shaped it out, and all I did was take it and put it on a hot skillet and kind of fry it as a flatbread. So we're gonna just take, I made a couple of these, Just going to take one here, put it just like this, just a little flatbread like so. And what I would do here now is take my brisket, pull a little bit more of this off, just right on top. Right on top like so. That's beautiful. And then my spoon. Some of our, just right on top there. Oh, now we're talking. We're talking really nice. And I'll marry that with a nice corn on the cob. We'll put a little bit of my purple slaw right on here. We're building up something nice, right? Now, a little anise. Anise is a nice palate refresher for me. It just, you know, it's nice, it's light. Not everybody likes anise, maybe it's an acquired taste. Pardon my hands here, by the way. I don't think I pulled out enough forks or spoons. We'll put a little bit there, just like that. And there we have it. Pulled brisket, served a couple of different ways. I got to tell you, this is a wonderful, wonderful dish for Shabbat. My kids love it. It's a great dish because these empanadas that you make, the murekas, the meat pies, remember you could stuff that, besides with the potatoes and the meat, you could put some vegetables in there. You got a whole meal in your hand, so to speak, that way. And you're really got something nice happening with that, okay? You want to kick it up, throw a little bit of heat on there, put a little bit of pepper flakes or something like that. Be my guest, go ahead, go for it. But I got to tell you, if you were standing where I am, smelling the aroma coming out of this, wow. And of course, nice, perfect pairing here, Casa de Cielo. And I'm going to say l'chaim, thanks for watching. And listen, go make this and send me a picture. Do something, because I got to tell you, I can't wait to see your take on it. Till next time, l'chaim.